Racism is a sad reality that still exists across the world, and Europe, despite its modern image, is not immune. In 2025, rising nationalism, economic pressure, and anti-immigrant politics have made life more difficult for many foreigners, including Indians. From job discrimination to hate crimes, Indian migrants are facing growing challenges across the continent. Today, we reveal the top 10 European countries where Indians face racism in 2025. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for more global insights every week. Let's uncover the truth about where racism still lurks in Europe. 10. United Kingdom. While the UK has a large and successful Indian community, racism still persists in subtle and open forms. Indians sometimes face discrimination in job recruitment, housing and public spaces, especially in smaller towns. Political debates around immigration and nationalism have reignited anti-immigrant sentiment in recent years. Some British Indians report microaggressions and social exclusion despite their economic success. Hate crimes, though less frequent than in other European countries, still occur, particularly against people of South Asian appearance. The UK remains one of the safer European nations for Indians overall, but its rising far-right movements and anti-immigrant rhetoric have made many feel uneasy in 2025. 9. Cyprus. Cyprus has become a growing destination for migrant workers, including Indians in construction, tourism, and domestic work. However, racial discrimination is often reported, especially in workplaces and housing markets. Many Indians face lower wages and poor treatment compared to European workers. In tourist-heavy regions, locals sometimes express hostility toward darker-skinned foreigners, linking them unfairly to illegal immigration. Public attitudes have hardened as migration has increased, and law enforcement is often accused of bias against non-European migrants. Though Cyprus offers good opportunities, the lack of anti-racism enforcement and growing xenophobia make it one of the less welcoming countries for Indians in 2025. 8. Italy. Italy's Indian population, especially in agricultural regions like Sicily and Puglia, often faces serious discrimination. Many Indian workers report being underpaid and forced to work in harsh conditions. Xenophobia in small towns and rural areas has increased as far-right parties gain power, blaming migrants for crime and unemployment. Indians sometimes experience verbal abuse or are refused housing based on their skin color or religion. Although major cities like Milan and Rome are more multicultural, prejudice remains common. Police protection is limited, and many hate incidents go unreported. In 2025, growing political tension and anti-immigrant media have made life harder for Indian migrants across Italy. 7. Denmark. Denmark is known for its high quality of life, but non-European migrants, including Indians, often face social exclusion. The Danish government's controversial ghetto laws have long targeted minority neighborhoods, indirectly affecting South Asians. Indians report workplace bias, stereotyping, and challenges in renting homes. The country's strict immigration rules and political rhetoric about non-Western migrants contribute to an unwelcoming environment. While open racism is rare, subtle discrimination is deeply ingrained in daily life. Indians often find it difficult to fully integrate, despite their education and skills. In 2025, Denmark's growing nationalism has created a difficult atmosphere for many immigrants of color, including the Indian community. 6. Sweden. Sweden presents itself as progressive, but rising far-right movements have changed its atmosphere. Immigrants, including Indians, face prejudice in employment, housing, and schools. The Sweden Democrats, a nationalist party, have gained political ground by spreading anti-immigrant narratives. Indians report being stereotyped as outsiders or economic burdens. Hate crimes against foreigners have risen, especially in smaller cities. Despite Sweden's efforts to promote equality, deep-rooted biases remain. Some Indian professionals in tech and healthcare sectors have spoken about workplace discrimination and lack of inclusion. In 2025, Sweden's growing political polarization has made life more difficult for visible minorities, including Indians, than in previous years. 5. France. France has a long history of immigration, but also of racial tension. Indians and South Asians face frequent issues related to skin color, accent and religion. In 2024 alone, more than 16,000 racist or xenophobic crimes were recorded, an 11% rise from the year before. Indian students and workers often face discrimination in job applications and apartment rentals. Public debates about secularism and identity sometimes lead to hostility toward foreigners. Though France promotes liberty and equality, everyday racism persists, especially outside major cities. Far-right politics and online hate speech have grown rapidly, making France a more difficult environment for Indians in 2025 than before. 4. Poland. Poland remains one of Europe's least diverse countries, and migrants of color stand out immediately. Indians, especially students and IT professionals, often face verbal harassment and isolation. Rising nationalism and anti-immigrant rhetoric have normalized racist behavior in public spaces. Reports from 2024-2025 indicate growing hostility toward foreigners, particularly those with darker skin. Many Indians say they are treated as outsiders, even when legally employed. Although major cities like Warsaw are more tolerant, smaller towns can be openly hostile. The lack of diversity education and political support for multiculturalism makes Poland one of the toughest European countries for Indians to feel truly accepted. 3. Greece. Greece's economic struggles have fueled resentment toward migrants, including Indians. Racist violence and hate crimes have surged, with far-right groups targeting immigrants in both urban and rural areas. Indians working in agriculture and hospitality sectors often face exploitation, long hours and little protection from abuse. Reports from 2024 show that racial attacks and xenophobic demonstrations have become more common. Although the government condemns racism, enforcement of equality laws remains weak. Many Indians report being unfairly profiled by police or facing discrimination in housing. In 2025, Greece continues to struggle with integrating non-European migrants, making it one of the least welcoming countries for Indians. 2. Germany. Germany has seen a worrying rise in right-wing extremism and xenophobia. In 2024, racially motivated crimes increased by over 20%, and Indians were not spared. Many report being subject to racial slurs, workplace discrimination, and unequal treatment by landlords. Far-right parties have used economic fears to spread anti-immigrant sentiment. In smaller towns, visible minorities face more hostility than in cosmopolitan cities like Berlin. Despite Germany's strong laws against hate speech, enforcement can be inconsistent. Indian students and professionals sometimes struggle with bias in social and academic environments. In 2025, Germany's growing polarization has made racism a major concern for its migrant communities. 1. Ireland. Ireland has sadly become a hotspot for racist incidents targeting Indians in 2025. Multiple reports describe assaults, protests, and hate speech directed at Indian workers and students. The Irish president himself condemned the wave of attacks after several high-profile incidents in Dublin and Tallaght. Many locals blame migrants for housing shortages and rising costs, leading to public hostility. Social media has also fueled anti-immigrant propaganda. Indians working in tech and healthcare have expressed growing fear and frustration. Once known for its warmth and hospitality, Ireland is now struggling with deep racial tensions. In 2025, it ranks as Europe's most hostile country toward Indians.